Mam dla Was dosyć ciekawą przygodę. Na pewno słuchaliście wielu takich sprawozdań NDE różnych ludzi, ale to opowiadanie jest wyjątkowo ciekawe. W 2020 roku ten właśnie chłopak, 20-letni Ryan, wybrał się na pizzę i tam został brutalnie zaatakowany przez wariata jakiegoś i został pchnięty 2 razy nożem w tył głowy, w szczękę i tak dalej. No i potem różne perypetie i trafił ten Ryan do astrala. I ta jego historia jest bardzo ciekawa, to możecie sobie jej posłuchać za chwilkę, bo jaka jest teoria? Teoria jest taka, że te byty astralne, jak się tam przenosimy, to te byty astralne pokazują nam takie piękne rzeczy, tak, wspaniałości różne, cuda niewidy, no i potem jak taki ktoś po tym NDE wróci do żywych, to opowiada, jak tam było pięknie i wspaniale i wszyscy się nabierają, nie boją się wtedy śmierci, umierają, idą do astrala i tam są oczywiście przekabacani na szaro i znowu wracamy tutaj do tego badziewia ziemskiego. Wiecie i rozumiecie, tak, o co mi chodzi, prawda? No to dajcie znać w komentarzach, jak się na to zapatrujecie. A tymczasem, jak chcecie, to zobaczcie, co ten Ryan mówi. I wesołych świąt, jajeczków, króliczków i innych babilońskich wynalazków. Buziaczki, całuski, pa.
This number 13 has been following me around quite a bit, and I'll explain that in a bit. So this sound of water rushing was getting stronger and stronger. And as soon as I got to the door, I opened it, went to the other side, and then I was in this, oh God, how do I explain this now? I was in this like white room, and it was like a hallway in a way. And they were almost like Vatican-like structures, but they were like quantum computer-like structures inside of it. These buildings were conscious, and there was like a huge dome going above me, and there's like a hallway, and I could see millions of light years ahead. When you die, you can see distances really far. There's no limit to it, you know, because we're limited by our 5 senses to understand all this stuff, you know, and so I started to see that waterfall, and I started to see plants and huge rocks, and it was flowing, and then I started seeing plants that I've never seen before, and colors I've never seen before, and then those 6 or 7 beings of light that I talked about in my first YouTube video. I had 6 sessions of hypnosis, and I can now recognize who those beings were, and all of them were my family. And I don't want to name who they are, but I knew without a shadow of a doubt who they were, and they all were in their 20s and 30s. And so I heard about that before, that you're at the preferred age you want to be when you're at your peak, I guess, of happiness or health or whatever. So they all greeted me, and I'm standing on this crystal-like structure below me, and I gave all of them a hug, and I was like, "Oh, it's so nice to see you." And communication is instant. Like, I was able to tell them my whole life story and everything that happened to me just in an instant. And then it's like they understood it just like that. And I could see there was a white light inside each of them, and including me, and that was the energy of the soul or whatever. And so they said, "Come on to the boat. We'll take you for a ride." And I recognized this boat, this, and I've seen it before, but I just can't remember it. I have to do more sessions in order to remember what that was. And so we go on this boat, and then it starts, and then at first it was going slow, and then I was like, and I started seeing quantum computer-like structures inside of the building, not the building, the boat. It's like the boat was alive, and it's like their consciousness had a Bluetooth connection to it. And so just by thought, the boat can go where they want it to. I started to see these islands that were floating, and there were hundreds of them all around me, and they were crystal cities above it. And so one of your YouTube videos I watch her, there's this girl, she has like red hair and stuff, and she was saying that she's seen a crystal city floating in this bubble-like thing or this other dimension, but she didn't get the chance to like go to it or something. And I started looking, way later, I started looking on YouTube, and after all this happened, trying to find answers to my experience, and I couldn't find anyone that has been to these crystal cities and what it means. So I seen hundreds of people in these crystal cities that are floating in these different distances. There are waterfalls coming down, and the afterlife is such a huge place. There's space for everybody, and so my family said they're going to take me to the healing lake. I thought, oh, that's cool. I thought, and then but first we got to go to a couple of places, they said. I said okay, and then so the boat starts picking up speed and going faster and faster, and I seen this light, this portal open up, and it crystallized right in front of me, right in midair, like in thin air, and I could see this white light, and there's crystals around it, and everything is technology. Everything can be explained with technology. Everything that's mystical or seems alien or futuristic or whatever, it's all a technology that we'll explain in the future. It could take hundreds of years, who knows? But this place had a very intelligent design, and every inch of this environment produces a lot of love and light, like just beyond anything. And so. So we go through this portal. I can feel the water rushing from the sides of the boat, and I stick my hand out, and I can feel the water going through. And then they took me to this first crystal city, and so at first, my second session I ever did of hypnosis, it kind of looked like these white buildings, almost like it's like combining New York and Japan, the technology and all that. It's like combining both of them together. It was like a huge city. I could see the World Trade Center. I could see this huge ball of light that's wirelessly connected to all these crystal buildings, and it's running off of this energy, and it was like a godlike being that had constant creation going in it, and I'm able to float and fly. And so I seen this one building, and then just by thought I just teleported to the very top of it, and meanwhile my family is out in the city, and they're meeting people and stuff, and I'm kind of out doing my own thing, and I have the feeling that they're always with me, no matter where you go, because you're connected to everything. So there's this one building that was, oh my God, it's kind of like the World Trade Center, but it's like triple that size. So I teleported to the top of it, and I'm standing at the edge of this building, and it looked and felt so real. I could feel the wind in my long hair, and then this being appeared beside me and said, "You can jump. It's okay. Nothing can hurt you in this place." Oh my God, I thought, just like it feels so real. Like how can this be? You know? So I thought, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. 3, 2, 1, and I jumped off that building, and I can feel the wind just coming at me like 100 kilometers an hour, and I can see all these other buildings and stuff, and I crashed down. I hit the ground, and I felt the full impact of it. My whole body hit it, but nothing hurt. The rush of it was just amazing, you know. And then one of my family members teleported down to the ground level and said, "You see, look, nothing can hurt you here." So I stood up and I can see vehicles, old vintage vehicles from like the 60s and 50s, driving by, and there were traffic lanes, and there were people walking by, people walking into these buildings. So I thought that was really cool. I thought just everything has a purpose. Every soul is going to where they need to be, and they're all doing some kind of work. And I didn't know what was really going on. I thought, I wonder what is the meaning of all this, you know? So my third session and fourth session I had, then I started to remember more. And then one of them invited me to this into this building. And I seen this building. Uh, it's like a crystal building, but it's always self-transforming, and it's designed to fit the needs of each soul that's in that building. So whatever you can imagine in that space, the consciousness of the building will create it right in front of you, and the whole room can change. And so I walk into this room, and then there's like a pool, a hot tub, and there's a kitchen and a living room, and it had everything that you would see in a regular house. And so and he's like, yeah, I got so many cool stuff to show you. It's such a nice place being here. He said this place is literally alive. The walls, the ceiling, and the ground of the crystals of this crystal building is humming and purring like it's alive. And so he started taking me to these different rooms and stuff. And then he says, yeah, each room can lead you to a different portal, and you can go wherever you'd like, he said. But we're always here with you. And, and I felt like I was 5 or 6 years old. It brought back that childlike innocence where everything is so big, everything is so new and pure, and you just want to explore everything like a child uh, at a carnival or something. You know, it was like that, except it was 100 times better than anything you can ever think of. And so the days started going by with me being in a coma and stuff. And so